Economist Harry Dent was recently interviewed on Fox News, and he said, since 2009, this has been 100% artificial. Unprecedented money printing and deficits, 27 trillion over 15 years to be exact. This is off the charts, 100% artificial, which means we're in a dangerous state. I think 2024 is going to be the biggest single crash we'll see in our lifetimes. He went on to say, I'm the guy that's praying for a crash, while everybody else is not. We need to get back to normal, and we need to send a message to central banks. This should be a lesson. I don't think we will ever revisit. I don't think we'll see a bubble like this again in our lifetimes. Dent remains firm that an everything bubble will burst next year. Historically, market bubbles are characterized by a rapid rise in stock prices before being met by a sharp fall. The Economist noted that the bubble actually started in 2021 after the height of the pandemic, with the first signs showing in 2022 when the Nasdaq was down 38%. The new year will bring the next wave of crash. The Roaring Twenties bubble was not a bubble, he said. The real estate barely bubble of 2008 was nothing compared to what is coming. This is the one time I'm telling you, do not listen to your financial advisor. Things are not going to come back to normal in a few years. We may never see these levels again. And this crash is not going to be a correction. It's going to be more like the 1929 to 1932 level event. And anybody who sat through that would have shot their stockbroker. He continues, if I'm right, it is going to be the biggest crash of our lifetime, most of it happening in 2024. You're going to see it start and be more obvious in May. Depressions are different from recessions. They go much deeper, and they end up in deflation. It's going to bring down a lot of consumer price inflation, and especially housing. When this asset bubble bursts and the price of everything, especially housing, comes down to reality, imagine not only can you buy the house you want at half off, you can buy twice as nice a house for the same mortgage you're going to get before. The bubble will leave a lasting slowdown impact for 12 to 14 years. During that time, America's wealth gap will widen as the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. But this is going to hurt the rich, not the super rich, but just the rich, a lot more than the average person. The average person is going to lose their job for 6 months to 2 years. The average rich person is going to lose 50 to 80% of their lifetime accumulated net worth. They're going to see the biggest come down to reality. He continues, people think I'm crazy when I say the stock market will go down 86% on the S&P. The worst case, but also my most likely case. I don't think it's possible to keep pumping something up on pure fumes like we've been doing to the economy, just printing money, throwing money into the markets, which keeps the rich and spending. We need a recession. This is the longest we've ever gone without a recession or major stock market correction or crash to clear the decks and throw out the bad stuff so we can go into the next boom lean and mean. The longer the boom, the more the overinvestment, zombie companies in debt, and you have to wash out all of the excess. If we keep doing this forever, it means that the next boom will probably be a nothing burger with the millennials, because they're going to be sharing our excessive, overly valued financial assets and bad debts. This is a war on central banks against free markets. In the end, the free markets are going to win because they're the closest thing to a regulator when it comes to money. And the central banks are a bunch of academic people who have never run a business. Economist Albert Edwards comes to a similar conclusion. He believes a large correction is coming and possibly a recession on its heels. If this bubble bursts, it will send the stock market into a large correction. That correction becomes a big bear market if a true recession follows on its heels. I don't think it takes an economist to tell us where this is all headed. Clearly, we are technically in a recession, even though many experts don't want to call it that at the moment. But not only is the American market in trouble, but the European market and the Asian market. No one is doing well right now. And things can't get better. There's no way for them to get better. You couple the economic woes with all of the political woes going on and the geopolitical woes. It's not a pretty picture for 2024. There is so much military conflict and potential military conflict going on at the moment. Shipping is more threatened now than it has ever been, with the Panama Canal almost closed because of drought, the Suez Canal and Red Sea being threatened to close because of the reactions of Yemen to what's going on in Gaza, and the Southern California ports being essentially closed for the last 3 years, and Chinese exports down 60% over the last year or year and a half. It's really an impossibility that the economy could get better in 2024. And it's almost certain that not only is it going to get worse, but it's going to get radically worse. So then the question is, what have you done and what are you doing to prepare for this? As we saw Harry Dent say, the average American worker will lose their job for 6 months to 14 months, most likely. So what do you do if you lose your job? Do you have enough savings? Do you have a few side hustles that you can turn into full-time income? What is your plan? If your job just stops, what do you do? It's something that needs to be thought about. Every responsible person should have a backup plan if something happens to their job, even in good times, but especially in these times. So I would encourage everyone to really think about what would they do if they lost their job? What would they do if the economy collapsed? What would they do if they couldn't afford their current lifestyle? This is something that is going to probably happen to many Americans in the next year and certainly in the next 2 years. So that's the crap that I'm talking today. And I hope you stay tuned to the next episode when I talk crap about something.